second, take your time. You know I'm yours if you remember that you're mine. And when everybody's telling me I have no time, I prove them wrong again. 'Cause yeah, I might be all that you get. Yeah, I guess this might well be it. But heaven knows I tried. My hands won't be tied down, and I will not lay them down, 'cause I can finally see the truth. So simple but so clear, accepting an ocean's depths were out of reach for me and you. If you're coming up for air, breathing in, you know I'll be there when you first begin. And when everybody's telling us we have no time, we'll prove them wrong again. 'Cause yeah, I might be all that you get. Yeah, I guess this might well be it. But heaven knows I tried. And heaven knows I tried.
Good morning. Oh my gosh, I'm a little taller today. Oh, this is great. I'm so shocked. Good morning. Welcome to our multi-platform worship service. My name is Shay Dively. I am the intern minister, and I use she, her pronouns. And it is my honor to be co-leading our service today together with Reverend McKinley Sims, our settled minister, our Director of Religious Education and Exploration, Elizabeth Ann Terry. I believe I heard that we have some special music coming from the choir today. I'm so excited. And as always, we like to thank Mike Foy for sitting behind the screen and doing all the hard work of AV. Before we begin, I'd like to ask everybody to please silence any cell phones so that we may be as present as possible in this space. If you're new here, restrooms are located at the rear of the sanctuary, and you can take the stairs down on the right-hand side to get down there. Unfortunately, the lift is having a little trouble, and so even though I remembered that it's on the left side, it's not working, so go to the right. We are streaming live, and if you are joining us online, you can choose to toggle on the closed captions by clicking on the CC button at the bottom of your Zoom screen. Childcare is available for infants and toddlers, and older children are invited to attend the religious exploration group following the Story for All Ages. And parents and guardians can pick up the kiddos after the service upstairs. So let's take a deep breath together. This is a UU congregation, which means we are people of many differences, different faith traditions, different racial identities, different gender expressions, and all different kinds of ways of moving in and showing up in the world. And we are a people of togetherness who make covenanted promises to be together and to act with love for transformation, liberation, and healing. This is a historically universalist sanctuary, which means that we welcome all, who in turn welcome all, in the spirit of love and wholeness. And we are made more whole by your choice to be here today. We've been waiting for you to bring all of your beautiful self here, and we honor this by trying to live up to the mission of this congregation, building UU Mount Airy into a beloved community by embracing all souls and nurturing wholeness. May this be the place where you come to be your whole self. May this loving community help you speak your doubts and welcome your questions. In this space, may you find transformation, liberation, and healing. May you leave this place changed for the better, and may you change this place, leaving it better. I'm going to invite Reverend McKinley up to the pulpit to describe what today's service is about.
Friends, today's service is about soccer or football, if you're British, but it's not only about soccer or football and how soccer or football is a great metaphor for life in general and for being human in particular. Today, we are guests at the table of AFC Richmond, which is a fictional English Premier League soccer or football team coached by a fictional American football coach from Kansas named Ted Lasso. Today's service embraces Ted's trademark positivity and relationship building because everywhere he's ever been, his players and people love him. But positivity is not the only good news from the gospel according to Ted Lasso. So today's service is not just about soccer or football, but it is also just about soccer or football. With that in mind, we enter into this space of worship with the ringing of a chime.
In UU congregations, we light a chalice to celebrate our coming together in love, to mark the sacred space and time of our community, and invite the Spirit into our lives. We invite you to light a candle wherever you are today, and please read along with me if you feel moved to do so as we light our chalice with words from the writing team of Ted Lasso. And we promise that these words will make more sense and have deeper meaning by the end of today's service. We light this chalice in hope, in belief, in community. May we hear good news, and may we be good news. May we be curious. May we be goldfish. Blessed be. Our opening hymn is number 1023, Building Bridges. Let us rise together in body and spirit as we sing with one another.
Bruce Pollock Johnson is going to help lead us in this one if it's not familiar to you. Thank you, Bruce.
Sorry, I guess we don't need this really. We start We're going to do this a cappella, and I think most of us know it, so let's do it twice since it's short. Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all our voices and all of our visions, friends, we could make such sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all our voices
seated.
Part of our being a community is learning to share the authentic and vulnerable parts of ourselves with others, to see and be seen, to know and be known. We make space today for that sharing, all of which helps to build this congregation into beloved community. We invite you to share what's going on in your life, to name the feelings and the people on your heart in need of prayer, good energy, best wishes, and other help. We invite you to get into your body and investigate what emotions you're experiencing, to share them as you feel called so we can help one another hold our joys, our grief, our in-between feelings. We build community by celebrating our good things, mourning our troubles, taking risks, and listening deeply. For our online sharing, we invite you who are on Zoom to share what you're feeling this week, to lift up the names of those about whom you are thinking of in the chat. And for those watching on live stream or after Sunday morning, you can reach Reverend McKinley via email at minister@uumountairy.org. And for those in our sanctuary, we ask that you come up one at a time by the side aisle to pick up a stone or stones from the basket, infuse or charge it with your joy or sorrow, and place it in the bowl of water, where its energy will ripple out to be held by all of us. All are welcome to participate in any of these ways, and for those who have gathered virtually, we will add stones on your behalf. The sacred space of deep sharing is open.
Hi, I'm Sandy Fulton. I'm a member here, have been for a long time now. I was looking for something that was round like a soccer ball, but I couldn't find one. I'm so happy that we're going to have this soccer day because my grandson, who's 11 years old, is the leader of his soccer team, which is a winning soccer team. And I'm so proud of him. And on Mother's Day, he talked with me for maybe 60 seconds and turned it back over to his mother. And he probably was going out to practice. And anyway, he is wonderful. And I'm hoping that I can send this to him and that he can sit still long enough to watch it. Okay, thank you. And God bless him, and God bless my daughter-in-law and my granddaughter, who called me on Mother's Day, and we ended up speaking for about 3 hours.
Inspired by watching Spanish, TV on football. Just wanted to do a thank you to Bruce for a lot of hard work, helping bring to the church yesterday the Aging People in Prison Human Rights Coalition. A powerful reparations film Friday evening called Pay Up, Get Out of the Way. I love it. Makes the point very clear. But then during the day, a lot of deep sharing by people who've been affected by carceral system, very moving, and I don't know, just powerful to be here, and some of our members made it too, so thanks.
Hi, Bernadette. My joy this week is that my niece, her daughter, had a baby on my niece's birthday. And his name is Caleb, and so welcome to the world. And my request is for Gary, with sarcoma from his leg. The concern is that there's been so much work on that leg, along with radiation, about the healing. And so a special hope that we can send wishes to his leg and his body for the best healing possible so that he could maybe be out in 2 days instead of over a week.
Yes. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Monica. I've met many of you over the past few months, and some of you know that my wife, Steph, had been applying for her epilepsy fellowship since she's finishing up residency this coming year, and we found out this week that she matched at Brown University. So very proud of her. We will be moving to Providence, but not till June 2025, so we still have a year to spend with you at UU Mount Airy, so that's good.
But one of the things that I longed for was to be home, and I feel very much at home here. And the other thing was for mental health parity. My daughter is doing much better. All the voices in her head are gone. She's got a job coach trying to get her into a different career. And she's going to send me a suicide prevention nonprofit that I can give money to in honor of my mom. So thank you.
One of my stones is for a friend of mine, Craig, a wonderful dancer who's now quadriplegic. So I want to put out all good thoughts to anybody for whom the change in mobility has really become a challenge with their life journey.
Hi. Anyone, my name is Nam. Just want to share a small joy. My birthday was on Wednesday. And, another year around the sun. It feels good. It's not quite the next milestone one yet, but that one's coming up next year. So we'll see. But I had an opportunity to do a small kind of impromptu last-minute gig at a beer garden around the corner from where I live, and figured made it out to that, and drummer of the first band that I fronted in Philly surprised me. I had no idea he was coming. They had a drum set there, and we played a few songs from the band. And we hadn't played these songs together for probably about 20 years, and we played them just like nothing had ever stopped. So it was just such a life-affirming day. But in the midst of wrangling sick kids and everything, it was nice to have that moment. I know a number of you reached out with birthday wishes for me. I promise I'll get back to each and every one of you. It's just that I'm usually up at 6 taking the girls to school during the week, and for some reason my body decided to wake up at 4:30 every single morning. I'm a little tired. That's why. So hopefully, if my sleep's good, we'll get back on track too. Thanks.
Friends, we're going to let Mike change the batteries in the microphone. So if you would like to speak, if you'll just hold on for a second. But if you just want to come through and drop a stone, please do so.
This one works.
I'm Ann. Hi. My granddaughter's graduating today, and from Penn, and she is dyslexic, and she has done so well because God blessed that she had really good help and really good training, and even so, it takes her longer to do everything. So this is to celebrate her and to say some of the people we should be helping more are people who need help because they're disabled and different. So this is for them too.
Good morning, Wayne. And just like to inform you that the gentleman that I've been taking care of, I have POA for him. He's in Ivy Hill now. Lived in Strawberry Mansion, and I've been taking care of him for the last 6 years. And finally, I got him in. I got him to the hospital first of all because he was in really bad shape. So. Just a short story that for about 5 months now, his hair has been growing really long. Would not let anyone touch his hair there. So I finally said, let me cut your hair. He said, oh, sure, you could cut my hair. So I went to the barber the other day, and I asked my barber, would he come to Ivy Hill to cut, I call him Nephew Bobby, and we're pretty close together in age. He calls me Uncle Wayne. Anyway, finally we got his hair cut, and he took him in the mirror, took him to the mirror. He looked at it, and he started crying. Because his hair was really long, and they was telling me he looks like Jesus. So that was a milestone for me to get his hair cut. So, but anyway, he's doing fairly well. He has a lot of health issues, and I'm kind of sticking in there with him until long haul. So, but on a good note, that I participate in the Montgomery County senior games not every year, but most of the years. And generally, I don't mention anything, but let me pull out my. And this is only one of them, so I generally don't say anything about. I generally don't say anything about myself as far as accomplishments, but this is one of the gold medals. I also got a bronze, so it wasn't all gold. I have a few, and I have quite a few medals. But generally, what I do with my medals. I worked for the Department of Recreation for many years, particularly when I first started, when I was in college. Then even after college, I worked for them for a year before I started doing my passion, which was teaching. And so what do I do with my medals now? I give them to the Department of Recreation so they could give them to the kids.
Good morning. My name is Tim. I just wanted to echo what Craig said about yesterday. Yesterday, the reparations workshop was one of the most powerful things that I have done in this church over 40-some years. To hear the lived experience of incarceration of the folks that spoke and of their families just reminded me that one of the biggest injustices is not just here in Philadelphia, but just to quote, here in Philadelphia, we have 30% of the people who are incarcerated in Philadelphia have not been tried for a crime yet. That's just here in Philadelphia. It gives you the extent of the injustice that goes on. The last thing is that, I don't know how I overlooked it, but the whole weekend was in memory of Queen Mother Moore, who was one of my sheroes of all time. She was a member of the United Negro Improvement Association, which Marcus Garvey had founded. Marcus Garvey happens to be one of my greatest African American heroes in American history.
Thanks, Bruce. Pastor Bruce, as they called him yesterday.
I'm Kathy. First, a shout out on Cynthia Bradley's birthday today. Last Saturday, we had a celebration of life for my mother. And I just wanted to tell you how much I appreciated this congregation and everything I've learned from being a worship associate here. And not just in preparing the service, but in mourning my mother. And I want to particularly thank Steve for creating a slideshow, which was really gratefully appreciated, by everyone who was at the service. And I felt so much support from many of you last weekend, so thank you.
My name is Bruce, and at the end of the summit yesterday, I don't know if I can say this, and I probably shouldn't, but Rashawn Williams, who is co-chair of the Philadelphia task force that was passed by City Council on reparations, said, I was telling him that we're involved with the group that was formed after the city workshop that you've heard about a few times, a bunch of us went to, that has continued, and I deep respect and confidence and trust in who we are. And that meant the world to me, and I appreciate all of you for helping to make that possible and making them feel so welcome. And we're hoping that that can work into the community partnership that we've been talking about for a couple of years here. Thank you.
I'm going to add a few stones for those folks who are joining us online and for those joys and sorrows that remain in our hearts. Actually, Elizabeth Ann is going to get it for me. Thank you, Elizabeth Ann. Let us join together in a moment of prayer, however you define prayer. Spirit of life, eternal and gracious one, ground of all being, we lift up these joys and sorrows and hopes and dreams and excitements and struggles so that we may share them as a community and feel the love and support and connection with one another. And we share our sorrows so that we may find care from another, and we share our joys so that we may lift and expand the energy of love in this space. May we know that this love continually flows to us, between us, and among us, and may we carry it out to the world. Amen, and blessed be. I'm going to invite Reverend McKinley forward to share a story for all ages.
Our kids may be either downstairs or not with us today, so we're going to just rush through the story for all ages. So if we do have families who are here, I'm going to ask you to meet Jill and Elizabeth Ann over in Hale Hall for your religious exploration classes. And I'm going to ask the choir to take a breath and get ready, because I'm going to ask you to come up here in just a second after I say one more thing. But we're going to have the choir do our offertory here in just a second. But I want to say one thing to our kids and families who might be watching from home. We have two opportunities for in-person worship, especially for families, especially with young kids of all ages, really. But on the first Sunday in June, June 2nd, That is our flower communion, which is a big common ritual in Unitarian Universalism. And it is also what we call the joy service. If you've not been with us before, the joy service is a service where we do things that bring us joy, right? We could juggle, we could eat marshmallows, we'll sing, we'll dance, we'll move, but it's not quite the typical structure, which again, I often say almost every week here in this congregation. We're doing something a little bit different. But the joy service and flower communion are on the first Sunday, and we are inviting kids to come and do what brings you joy. If you like to sing, if you like to dance, if you want to help lead part of the service, if you want to do the chalice lighting or extinguishing or pass the plate around and help lead the service, we invite you to do that on June 2nd. And then on June 9th, the second Sunday in June, we're going to have RE for everyone here in this space. So you're going to get to go through a kind of religious exploration class that is geared for everyone. So we might play with Play-Doh, we might do some artwork, we're going to have a good time. And on June 9th, we're also going to do child dedication, which is a UU ritual to welcome children into the community. My two little ones are going to do child dedication that day. Mr. Francis is going to do child dedication that day. So if you have a young baby or a child who has not done the child dedication of any age, and you would like to be part of the child dedication that involves booping a flower onto their nose and their head, it's very fun. That is on June 9th. Please let me or Elizabeth Ann know if you would like to be included in that ritual. Thank you, friends. But do you have anything you want to add? Yep. Okay, sorry. You're making the move like I might have something to add. Invite our choir forward. Yeah. Invite our choir forward to do our offering, and let Shay read our introduction to that.
Sorry, I'm shifting pages. So now is the time when we take up our offering of financial resources for the good of this community. Ushers, please go ahead and start the passing of the plates here in the sanctuary. If this is your first time with us, there is no expectation that you give anything other than a yellow, white, or pink contact form, or letting us know how you found us and how we can support you. We know there are many different ways to give back to this congregation, and we encourage you to find a way that works for you. For giving of financial support, your money or checks put in the plate will be used to fund the ministries of this church. Any pocket change or other money that you designate for Change online or by putting them in the white envelopes in the pews will be sent to this month's selected Change for Change organization in Cobra, Philadelphia. More is on the screen about how to give, and the offering is being gratefully received.
Oh,
A reading from Diana Butler Bass. I started watching Ted Lasso recently. The award-winning series streaming on Apple TV is about a cheerful Kansas football coach who winds up in London coaching AFC Richmond, a flailing English soccer team. Ted Lasso has a dedicated fan base, a group that loves asking newcomers, "Who is your favorite character?" I love Ted, of course, Rebecca, the team owner, and Roy Kent, the aging team star. But it is a quiet character, a background figure appearing in every show with only a single line that I find utterly compelling: the believe sign. I've not yet finished watching the available shows, but that believe sign begs a question. What does it mean to really believe? Through all the team's tensions, surprising victories, and painful losses, the sign hangs in the locker room, ambiguously omnipresent. Is believe merely a kind of happy talk self-help mantra, a sweet Midwestern optimism oddly out of place in a more cynical world? Believe and your dreams of winning and fame will come true. Or is believe something else, a disposition that is truthful, a practice that is transformative, a challenge to embrace, a struggle to endure? Believe how? Believe what? Believe who? Though there are no predetermined answers, and finding a way to belief is messy. From one perspective, belief seems to taunt. If you believe hard enough, you will be rewarded. But from the other, there is less clarity and maybe even unexpected sadness. Believe seems to draw us toward our doubts and fears. Almost 20 years ago, a few sentences in The Heart of Christianity, by Marcus Borg, revolutionized how I understand believe. Prior to the 17th century, the word believe did not mean believing in the truth of statements or propositions, whether problematic or not. Grammatically, the object of believing was not statements, but a person. Moreover, the context in which it was used in pre-modern English made it clear that it meant to hold dear, to prize, to give one's loyalty to give oneself to commit oneself. It meant faithfulness, allegiance, loyalty, commitment, and trust. Most simply, to believe meant to love. Indeed, the English words believe and beloved are related. What we believe is what we beloved. Faith is about beloving. Faith is the way of the heart. If the believe sign means, I believe that AFC Richmond will win the championship, I believe that, I believe, and well, then you're in trouble. That's the statement about the truth of something. But I've come to think that the believe sign means, I believe AFC Richmond. I believe this team. And the point becomes clearer. I trust this team, I trust these people, and I give my allegiance to you all. The believe sign doesn't conjure our desires for a specific answer or outcome. Instead, it creates the possibility to become different players, a different team, a different kind of community, one called forth in what we beloved. Although I've not yet watched all of the episodes of Ted Lasso, the story seems to be exploring belief through questions of faithfulness, allegiance, loyalty, commitment, and trust. Through the relationships between various characters and how believe and beloved are a piece. After all, how can we possibly believe without love?
When I was 18, I was getting ready to move away from the only home I'd ever known for a new adventure in some place called Virginia. And it was the summer of 2006, and there was a World Cup going on in Germany. And the U.S. men's national team was on television, really for the first time that I could remember. And I fell in love with a sport called soccer, or football. The supporters of the U.S. national teams call themselves the American Outlaws. And one of the cheers that they do is they have a single voice who calls out, "I," and the crowd responds, "I," and then one says, "I believe, I believe, I believe that we, I believe that we," and then drums kick in, and it goes doom ticka doom ticka doom ticka 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 doom ticka doom, and the crowd starts chanting, "I believe that we will win, I believe that we will win," over, and it gets louder and louder and louder, and everyone starts jumping if they're able to jump, and this enthusiasm sweeps over the crowd. And I remember sitting in my house in Lubbock, Texas, and feeling that energy. I believe that we will win. If you know some things about American soccer tradition, in fact, we do not win very often for the men. If you know something about the women, they win almost all the time. They've had a little dry spell. I believe. I believe. Ted Lasso is a story about belief. One of the first lines is the owner of this team, AFC Richmond, brings in this bumbling guy from Kansas who is full of Midwestern values and folksy sayings. He loves puns. He can't handle sparkling water and spits it out in front of everyone at his first press conference. And she says, "We're going to do things the Ted Lasso way around here." The joke is that this guy seems to not know what he's doing, and there's a reason for that as to why she hires him. I'm going to try and not have any spoilers in this for you. When you watch Ted Lasso, what you see is a story about a soccer team and about what happens on the field. But that's not actually what the story is about. Although it's also entirely what the story is about. One of the mantras that comes back in and out of the show is a phrase from a Mexican soccer player named Danny Rojas, who says, "Football is life." Football is life. Meaning that sometimes you are overcome with the enthusiasm and connected to everyone around you. And you believe that you can win. And sometimes you do. But oftentimes we don't. Especially in maybe the ways that we want. We want things to work out perfectly. We want everyone to be healthy and well. We want there to be peace and justice. That's not always the case. Football is life. There are ups and downs. There are wins and losses, and sometimes in soccer, in football, there are ties. When Ted Lasso learns about this at his press conference, he says, "There are ties?" The magic of Ted Lasso as a character, as a football coach who goes into this English soccer football team is not that he knows everything there is to know. It's not that he is some tactical genius. It's not that he even knows all the rules to the game that he is being paid to coach. The genius of Ted Lasso is that everywhere he goes, he begins to build connections and relationships with everyone around him. From the guy who drives the lawnmower on the field, to the person who washes the stinky socks and the shin guards of the players, to the owner of the team, and to all his players and assistant coaches. His philosophy is about building relationships, and it's centered around this sign that he hangs in the locker room that says simply, believe. And as we hear, this sign comes in and out of the story, almost acting like a character. And your first thought is that, oh, it's kind of an American exceptionalism. Just believe, and good things can happen. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. That's all it takes. If you just believe the right things, then we will be saved. Then we'll win. I believe that we will win. It's simply a matter of believing hard enough. And when you watch Ted Lasso, you think, well, that's actually what the moral is. That this guy's just power of belief and his relentless positivity, that's the key. That's all I have to do is just smile and work hard and everything's going to be all right. But that's not exactly the good news in the story of Ted Lasso. When I watch this story, what I see is that believe is not just about belief without proof. It's not about just believing in something because someone tells you to. It's actually more related to this idea of beloved, of trusting, of being in connection with and building relationships with people. That's the power of belief. It's not in belief about winning or losing. Ted Lasso is asked, well, you're losing, why aren't you upset? He said, for me, success is not about wins and losses. And they say, how can you believe that? You are the coach of an English Premier League football team worth billions of pounds. He says, no, I mean it. Success is not about wins and losses. Ted Lasso says, for me, I love coaching. I want to help these people become the best versions of themselves on and off the field. It's not just about soccer, but it is. I want to help these people become the best versions of themselves on and off the field. And one of the things you learn as you go through the story is that one of Ted's core beliefs is that everyone is fighting a battle that you know nothing about. That everyone has something that might be hurting inside of them. He says, I was never going to let anyone get past me without recognizing that they might be hurting inside and that I could help with that I could see that, connect with that. And by doing that, give people a chance to become a better version of themselves by believing in his people, by beloving his people. He builds this culture through small, imperceptible steps of kindness and generosity that comes to be called the Ted Lasso way. So what starts as this bumbling guy from Kansas who doesn't know anything about football turns into this emotionally deep, caring, theological, philosophical story about belief. Not in something high and far away, but in something here and now. I believe that we will win. But winning is not like winning on the field, he says. Success is not about the wins and the losses. Success is about becoming the best version of ourselves on and off the field. And if I believe that, anything is possible. You watch this story and you might expect like a typical Hollywood sports movie where everything goes right in the end and everyone is resolved and everyone wins. So minor spoiler for the first season of Ted Lasso. They in fact do not win. In fact, they get relegated, which is what happens when you finish at the very bottom of the league. And in England and in lots of other countries, if you finish at the bottom of the league, you don't stay in that same league the next year. You drop down where there's less money, less prestige. The players are not quite as elite. And then you have to work your way back up. So it ends on this loss and the grief that surrounds that. And Ted looks around the room in this wonderful speech and says, it's okay to be sad. This is a sad thing. But I want you to look around at all the people who are here and be grateful. Be grateful that you are not going through this alone. Because there is one thing that is worse than being sad, and that is being alone and being sad. And there is no one in this room who is alone. When we do a ritual of joys and sorrows, we name wins and losses and ties. We name good things and hard things. So I'm going to ask you to do something that might feel a little strange. So introverts, you do what you need to do, but extroverts, take me up on this. And ask you to look around the room and just see who's here. And friends online, we're looking at you too through the cameras on the back of our wall. I invite you to look around at who's online. It's the beauty of religious communities. It's not just telling people what to believe, how to pray, and in what language, to whom. It's about reminding us, whatever you're going through, you are not alone. And that belief, that belovedness, that's at the heart of the good news. Football is life. 1 minute you are living your dream as a teenager in West Texas, watching the World Cup, screaming, "I believe that we will win," as Landon Donovan scores against Algeria. And the next, you are crying in your truck, singing James Taylor's Lonesome Road as you drive away from home. Monica didn't know that story. Football is life. So Ted has all these sayings. Believe. Football is life. If we believe in one another, what we need for that to happen is not simply that we can just do it, because everyone has something going on with them, right? And sometimes it is that stuff that is going on with us, that is in us, the struggles, the conflicts, the wins, the losses, that keeps us from believing in each other, in ourselves, most of all. And so being able to get through that stuff, to work on ourselves to get better, that's the coaching aspect of Ted Lasso. And what he implies in this incredible scene, I'm sure many of us have maybe seen it, involves the game of darts in a pub in England. He's talking with a very rich, very mean person who used to own the team. It's a long story. But he's being very rude to one of Ted's friends. So Ted challenges him to a game of darts. It's this incredible scene of the very rich, evil person saying, "I know everything about this. I'm in control of this situation. I got this." And Ted gives an incredible speech about being curious and not judgmental, based on a Walt Whitman quote. And he's throwing darts, and it's not very good. He said, "You know, Rupert, guys have underestimated me my entire life. They thought they had everything and everyone figured out. So they were only free to be judgmental and not curious. So I try to be curious. Try to ask questions like, 'Have you played a lot of darts, Ted?' To which I will reply, 'Yes, I have. Every Sunday after church with my father down to the sports bar until he passed away when I was 16. And he wins in this, no spoilers, sorry. Forget I said that. It's this incredible moment. Be curious, not judgmental. That he imparts to all his players in all these imperceptible ways. That the stuff that we have going on inside of us, to be curious about it and about each other rather than judgmental. Not thinking that we have everything and everyone figured out. Most of all, ourselves, right? Believe that you are beloved and worthy of being in connection and being in relationship with people. Being a part of a team through wins and losses. Because football is life. Our team here, right? We can work on being curious and not judgmental. And that when we have times where that stuff that is inside of us gets the best of us, makes us think that we are not beloved, helps us not believe in ourselves, makes us feel like we are less than. Defender Sam Obasanya makes a mistake on the field and he's down on himself. And Ted Lasso says, Sam, come here. Sam runs over and says, sorry, coach, I don't know what's going on. He says, Sam, do you know what the happiest animal on earth is? Sam is from Nigeria and doesn't understand what's happening. He says, no, a goldfish. Do you know why? Got a 3-second memory. Be a goldfish, Sam. Forget about those small things, let them go. Stay present in the moment. Remember what is actually true. You're beloved. Believe in yourself. Believe in this. So the lesson is not, don't ever learn from anything, because we're all learning and growing and trying to be the best versions of ourselves. But when these things happen, be a goldfish. Be curious, not judgmental. And believe that you are beloved. If you have not seen the show, I encourage you to watch all 3 seasons of it, because the arc of the characters is incredible, and the nature of belief and the believe sign changes. That you think it is about simply just believing in something greater than yourself and trusting hard enough and being relentlessly positive like Ted Lasso, that's the key. That's all it takes. But the story is that football is life. And life is not onward and upward forever. Life includes twists and turns, ups and downs, injuries, deaths, illness, loss, relegation, and reconnection and restoration. What they call in football promotion. I closely identify with Ted Lasso. I dressed up as him for Halloween. So walking around telling people super positive things about how much they were beloved and how great their outfits were, giving kids high fives and then blowing a whistle. It was great to be someone else for a little bit. But it's also helpful for me to watch this show and to remember that what the lesson really is about belief in ourselves, in our own belovedness, that we are worthy of love, worthy of being a part of a team, of a community that goes through things together, that we are reminded that we are not alone, to be curious about those things in us and in each other that sometimes get in our way, and to commit to working on ourselves to be the best versions of those people, and to helping each other do that on and off the field. That's the power of belief. And that if we do that, that everything's going to be all right. So I want to play a clip for you from the show, and then we're going to wrap up. This is a speech after a loss, in a hard time. I am 95% certain I'm starting it where there is not swear words, but I cannot guarantee that, so I apologize in advance if I missed one. But here we go. This is about belief. You can see the belief sign. Mike, if you can turn our screen on. Here we go.
I think it's a good thing. What? How? I do. Okay, look, do I want to win? Heck yeah. But I also want to do it with folks that want to be here. It's not like we could handcuff him to his locker and make him love us. We could have tried. Hey, guys, look. We got a good thing going here, all right? We didn't need Zaba. Yeah? All we need to win are the fellas in this room right now. And all you fellas need to do is believe it.
It's a sign. That's the way to.
No, hold on. Hey, knock it off, okay? We're not doomed. No one is doomed. But bumper catch, yes, you're right. It is a sign. I agree. Yeah. Fact is, it's just a sign. All right, guys. All right? Comes from in here, you know? And up here, down here. Only problem is we all got so much junk floating through us. A lot of times we end up getting on our own. You know, crap like envy or fear. Sometimes we end up getting in our own way. You know, crap like envy or fear, shame. I don't want to mess around with that shit anymore. You know what I mean? Do you?
No, coach.
No. Do you?
No.
Oh, me neither. Hell no. Now, you know what I want to mess around with? The belief that I matter, you know? Regardless of what I do or don't achieve. Or the belief that we all deserve to be loved. Whether we've been hurt, or maybe we've hurt somebody else. Or what about the belief of hope? Yeah? That's what I want to mess with. Believing that things can get better, that I can get better, that we will get better. Oh, man. To believe in yourself, to believe in one another, man, that's fundamental to being alive. And look, yo, hey, if you can do that, if each of you can truly do that, can't nobody rip that apart. See y'all Monday?
Yes, Coach.
Good.
I believe that we will win. Win in whatever that means, not just in terms of wins and losses, but in becoming the best versions of ourselves, becoming the best community we can be, in holding one another, reminding ourselves that we are not alone, and being curious and not judgmental, and learning to be goldfish and to let things slide, to hold one another, and to remember that I believe in you. I believe in you. And if we all do that, every little thing is going to be all right. This is the gospel according to Ted Lasso. Can we all say amen? Amen. Would you join me in singing just for a little bit as we meditate on these words? You know this, Tim.
Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing's gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. One time. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright.
Time has come to end this part of our service and move on to our budget meeting that's happening after. A chance to get downstairs, use the bathroom, grab something to drink. Budget meeting will be happening up here in the sanctuary. So as we get ready to extinguish our chalice, we're going to do something a little bit silly again. That cheer I told you about, that I heard back in 2006, and that I have screamed at many a soccer game since then. We're going to extinguish our chalice by repeating those words. So will you repeat after me? I believe. I believe that we. I believe that we will win. 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 One more time. I believe that we will win. Amen. Our closing hymn speaks to this theme. Bruce is going to lead us. The song that is one of our songs that we invite you to take with you as we get closer to a national election cycle and we need grounding and comfort. I invite you to take this song with you and sing it, whether you're here in these walls or outside. It's called No One Is Getting Left Behind This Time. We are not alone. We'll sing that together. Would you rise in body or in spirit, please?
I'm going to do a couple lines at a time for you to parrot. We've only done it a couple, and there's a few weird places, so just help me get through those. So it starts up. No one is getting left behind this time. No one is getting left behind. Try those two lines. No one is getting left behind this time. No one is getting left behind. No one is getting left behind this time. We get there together, never get there alone. Try that. Get there together, never get there alone. Now there's another one. We get there together, never get there at all. We get there together, never get there at all. We'll get there together, never get there at all. We'll get there together, never get there at all. Okay, let's try it. No one is getting left behind this time. No one is getting left behind. No one is getting left behind this time. We get there together, never get there at all. We'll get there together, never get there at all. We'll get there together, never get there at all.
Thank you, friends. We are so glad to be together. I'm so glad to be part of this community. I hope that you feel that you are never alone. One of the things that we would do in my athletics teams is we had a sign that said team that was above our locker room. And every time we went out, you would touch this to remind yourself that you are part of a team, that you are not alone. The Believe sign in Ted Lasso functions very similarly. Folks go and touch it when they need that reminder that you are not alone. You are never alone. You will never walk alone. I invite you to remember that as you leave this space. I invite you to come back to be reminded that we believe in you, that I believe in you, that you are beloved, that I love you, and that with that in mind, there's nothing we can't do. Let us go in peace. Amen.
When you walk through the storm, hold your head high and don't be afraid of the dark. At the end of the story, there's a golden sky and the sweet silver song and blow. Walk on with hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone, and you'll never walk alone.
Sharon, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Sharon? I can't hear you. We're going to be back in half an hour, 45 minutes. Sorry, I can't hear you. Type in the text. No, it's chat in the chat. I just wanted to tell you we're going to be gone for a while. Thank you.